This interview was made possible by our friends at Lendio. Visit lendio.com, making small business loans simple. Hey everyone, I'm Mike Sullivan. Thanks for joining us today on mo.com, where we feature small business owners and entrepreneurs and then bring you hints, tips, insights, and perspectives on what it takes to be successful. Joining us today is Amish Shah. He's the founder of Digispace, an online performance-based advertising company, as well as the Magic Bullet system. Amish, thanks for joining us today. I greatly appreciate it. Let's start out with this question. There are a lot of people out there that promise big returns for following their unique system. You say people can really profit from following your system. What about your approach differentiates you and makes you stand out from the rest?
That's a good question. My approach is different because I use four different, I guess you could say, silos that I go after, and that's researching your competition, researching the market that you're going after, building your campaigns and building your strategy around the research that we build, then tracking everything that we built and that we launched, and then the last step is optimizing everything. So within the research phase, I basically dig deep into your market and your competition, from finding keywords to finding your competitors to figuring out which offers are working best on the internet or your competitors, what they're doing good, what they're doing bad, and basically just identifying what your market needs and what your market needs to do to be in a better place. So that's the research phase of everything. The building phase is basically when I go about taking on some of my clients and taking on some of the strategies that we use. We build your campaigns in a very unique way. I've had 8-9 years experience now with building PPC campaigns, SEO campaigns, or sales funnels even from beginning to end. Could be anything from, anything basically. It could be an info product, or it could be some kind of supplement, or it could be, just an affiliate program, basically promoting a product for someone else. So we build the campaigns from pay-per-click to media buys to CPV traffic, SEO traffic, even certain blog posts, and how to build that and how to get the copywriting right. So, in PPC, there's only, 3 lines that you can use, your headline and the 2 ads. So you have to be very specific, and you have to use very certain language in those kinds of ads when you go about, building your campaign. And this building part also includes, split testing. Whereas sometimes when you're building a campaign, you know that something's going to work, but something might work better. So you obviously want to split test. So this is the part where we build everything. We build the whole entire campaign from beginning to end. And then we launch it. And after we launch it, we basically have to track everything, right? So we want to track everything from which ad worked at which time, worked on which website, worked on which split test that you were split testing, and then tracking everything down to the minute detail. Even red buttons versus orange buttons make a huge difference. Could be a difference of 2 to 3% in conversion rates. So that's the kind of stuff that we'll track, and then the last step is optimize. Part 4 is optimize, and that's when we tweak everything and we turn all the knobs, I guess you could say, and we optimize your campaign. So I think that's exactly what makes us different, is we take a 4-step approach rather than looking at, just going straight in, or just looking at your competitors and copying what your competitors do. We take a more holistic approach almost, I guess you could say, where we look at everything from a whole, from the top down, and then we figure out how and what your strategy is, what is your market actually looking for, rather than looking at just your competitors and their strategy.
Thanks for that explanation of your approach. What got you started in this industry in online marketing?
So what got me started in online marketing is pretty unique. I've always kind of been into computers since I was younger. I got my first computer when I was probably 13 or something like that, or 12. It was an Apple IIgs, and I always just loved messing around with the computer. Opening it up, taking it apart, ripping the motherboard out, and replacing stuff, and adding RAM. And I was always into computers. And then I remember when I was 15, this is 1995 or so, I got a modem. And, I went online, and I actually remember, there was only 2-3 search engines at the time. And I used to always figure out ways to try and add links or remove links or build a website. Even back then in 95, 96, when the internet was kind of still very fresh, very fresh. And I just remember like, doing FTP and like random things like that. And, I guess my skills just kind of progressed, and I didn't actually take it seriously because I was really good with computers. I actually didn't take it seriously until I was probably around 23. So this is in 2003. I actually went online, and I remember this day exactly. I was like, I put a deposit on the house, and I was still working the 9 to 5 job, and I had a pretty decent job. I was making good money. I was making like $100,000 a year, maybe a little bit more. And that's good money. That's pretty good money. But when you put a deposit on a house, and you realize what your payments are going to be, and you're like, oh shit. And at that moment, I was just like, whoa, like I have to figure out a way to make more money so that I can enjoy my life while I live in the house and not just be stuck in the house, basically, and look at every single penny that I'm spending. And I remember that moment, and I was just like, I remember all the skills that I have acquired, online, and I went to school for management information systems and loved marketing. I've always just loved marketing, so I got into PPC, and I got into AdWords. I did a little bit of SEO, and I went from $5, making $5 a day, to $10 a day, to $50 a day, to $100 a day, and then before I knew it, I was making a couple thousand a day. And then, I've just realized this is actually while I was working at the company. I was working for Morgan Stanley at the time, and I would actually leave work and go to FedEx Kinko's and look at my stats and like analyze my stats, and that's what kind of got me all into this world, because I loved it so much that I was actually leaving my real job to go and do this other stuff on the side. And I always I guess you could say I'm a visionary, and I think outside the box. And I like to create ideas, and the internet is like my medium to create my ideas and to make it happen.
If you had to come up with one thing, one area that was the key to your success, what would you say that is, and why?
The key to my success, I think, was basically it all leads back to being positive and having the right mindset. Because having the right mindset is so important. Just to my previous story, the first weekend I launched my PPC campaign, my first ever PPC campaign, I lost $8,000. I lost $8,000. I didn't know anything. I mean, I knew about marketing, but I didn't know about stats. Like, I didn't know stats that well. I was just like, I just kind of figured 1 out of 10 people would convert. And that's really what I thought. I really thought 1 out of 10 people would convert, and I was literally willing to pay $1 per click in my marketing campaigns, bidding on very broad terms. And I was just like, whoa. And I didn't look at it because I figured, yeah, I'll make money. This is awesome. This is so easy. No, it's not that easy, and it's just having the right mindset and being positive. I turned that around because I was just like, here I am, just put a huge deposit on my house, and I just lost another $8,000. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I really literally thought like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? But I didn't give up. I just had the right mindset that I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do this. And that's how I got into SEO. And then from SEO, I basically just expanded from there. I just kept going. And I think that's what it is. Having the right mindset. There's a certain thing, there's a certain mindset that someone has to be inside before they can go and reflect towards the outside and try and, I guess you can say, make money, online. It's not as easy as everyone thinks it is. It's not. It's a struggle. And once you figure out that you want it and you need it and you're willing to change your life with it, not just make the money, you want to change your life and your lifestyle, then you realize things start becoming easier because you have the right mindset and you're being positive about what you're trying to achieve.
Business isn't the only area you're interested in. You often talk about giving back. What ways would you say that you've given back?
I've always wanted to give back to the community since I was younger. I didn't grow up in such a great environment. I wasn't wealthy. I didn't come, with a golden spoon in my mouth or anything like that. And this might seem like the same old story, rags to riches story. But I think it's very important that, you give back to your cause, kind of. Why are you doing this? And if my cause is because I like seeing results. I like seeing, people become passionate about their business because I'm passionate about what I'm doing. And so my wife and I are involved in many organizations around the world. And she's actually a dentist, and she just came back from a trip from Uganda that I helped sponsor. And she goes out to Uganda, and she actually She does extractions. She does like root canals. She fills cavities. She cleans kids' mouths. She gives like brushing lessons because out in the villages, they don't know. She brings supplies, toothpaste, toothbrushes, everything like that. So it's a truly amazing organization that she's helping. And even more recently, my wife and I started an organization called SEAF, and it's our own organization. And we're headed out to India in November to help build things like schools and libraries in unfortunate countries, not just India, but in general. And from bringing technology to those schools and those libraries to musical instruments to anything creative and anything that sparks the children's interest. So it's not just about creating a school that's going to teach them, mathematics and how to be a doctor, because that's kind of the norm in a lot of these countries. Like, you have to become a very smart person. But how about something different? Like, how about learning how to paint, or utilizing something that's different, like the right side of your brain, instead of being like a robot in society. So we want to bring about something different. It could be something as crazy as becoming a diver. And we want to support these kids to do whatever they want to do, as long as it's something that they're passionate about.
Give me your perspective on affiliate marketing.
I literally started with just affiliate marketing. It's a very strategic way to making money without actually owning a product. I mean, that's what makes it so appealing, right? You don't have to deal with customers. You don't have to deal with products. You don't have to deal with like customer support. You don't have to deal with anything. You have to find traffic, and you got to sell the traffic somehow. And that's all you have to do. All you got to do is focus on the marketing. So it's a very, very marketing-based business, right? Because all you're doing is finding a product and finding the traffic source and finding a way that they're gonna work together. So that's all marketing. So the problem, there's one big problem with affiliate marketing though, is that with paid traffic, most of affiliate marketing is done with paid traffic. So you consistently have to find new traffic sources and new products, and you have to come up with new marketing angles. So it's not really a real business model if you think about it. Yes, you can build a business model off affiliate marketing and SEO, but at the end of the day, what happens if you get slapped? Or what if something happens? So at the end of the day, you're not building any long-term value. Yes, it can bring a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I've made millions of dollars, actually, with affiliate marketing. But at the end of the day, it's not a real business model, and it should be used as more of a side income.
So tell me about the magic bullet system that you implemented, and what does that entail?
So basically, the magic bullet system was developed as a one-stop shop, I guess you could say, for online marketing. And as I mentioned before, I think it was the first question, I was talking about research, build, track, and optimize. So those four things are actually what I built into this software. I've been building this software for the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years almost now. The software literally does everything from researching your market or researching your competitors to building your offers, building your landing pages, building your squeeze pages, and then tracking everything, and then literally giving you optimization things that you can do to your campaigns and what you should do to your landing pages, what's working, what's not working, to measure your ROI. So it's an online system where you can actually go and do these 4 steps, which is research, build, track, and optimize for all your campaigns. And it's built off our platform, which is called Revenue Logics. We actually have over 2,000 customers in 70 countries. So it's definitely proven to be a successful platform. And not to mention, we've spent close to $1 million developing this thing over the last 6 years. So we've put a lot of work into it. We've put auto optimization. It builds blogs. It builds landing pages. It finds your competitors. It does almost everything you need from a marketing perspective and online. Whether you're a small company, whether you're an agency, you're a local business, whether you're just doing YouTube marketing or social marketing, doesn't matter what it is. It's a system that I built. So it's like built from my perspective, built, I guess you could say, by marketers for marketers almost, and that's basically what the software is. It's a suite of tools.
So I'm looking at your website right now, and it states, you've created benchmarks in the internet marketing world by consistently overachieving and defying the odds in every venture. What do you mean by this?
What I mean by this is that I have consistently had success in almost every venture that I've pursued. when I first started marketing online, I got into affiliate marketing, and I pretty much mastered it, and I generated millions of dollars in commissions, even some days hitting $100,000 in commissions, day after day after day. So over the last 8 years or so, I've generated about $12 million or so in affiliate commissions itself. And then basically after that, I set out to create software because I was building software to help automate my tasks and get these campaigns out there and manage a lot of the campaigns that I was running. And so I created the software and I created a system, and then I marketed the system because I knew that it was a big need for this. And so basically I generated $8.1 million in sales in 13 months with over 2,000 customers in 70 countries. So when I pursued the software, business basically, I generated $8.1 million. And then now that I'm consulting, I have clients paying me over $100,000 for marketing strategy and consulting, just for my consulting. So, in my personal life, on top of that, I've achieved a level of understanding, I guess, of myself and business and personally and spiritually that, I think takes other people decades, if not their whole life, to kind of understand. So I've always had the interest to start businesses, and I've always had the mindset to kind of achieve it. And most of the time, I guess, is when I go after them, I always achieve the success because of that. And that's why I kind of said that on my website is, I've always achieved the benchmarks that I go out to pursue and that I really want to pursue.
Great. Last question. What are your hopes for the future of your profession and your system?
The future of my profession is going to be making an impact on the world. I only take on clients that have a positive message and are out to make an impact on the world themselves, or make an impact with what they're achieving. I'm sorry, not what they're achieving, what they're actually trying to do, whether it's software, whether it's a website, or whether it's a product that they have, could be anything. But as long as they're trying to make an impact, or they're making an impact on a specific community, and they're doing it for good, then that's where I see my profession kind of headed. So if I can make an impact on those clients, and they're out to make a positive and big impact with their customers, then collectively, basically, we can change the world, right? And that's my theory, basically what I call mass scale impact, and that's making the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time. And the future of my company will basically be fourfold, and that's I'm writing a book, and I'm going to be speaking about it. I'm taking on high quality consulting clients, like I just mentioned, and I'm going to be doing a lot of philanthropic work with my wife. So I'm going to be going to volunteer in different countries and setting up my organization. And basically, I'm going to be creating free content for those who are just starting out online on my blog, and that's kind of where I'm headed with a lot of the things that I'm doing. So outside of that, the future of my system will be basically to eventually have the technology acquired. I know what I'm building, and what I've built already is very strong. And I want to sell it basically to a larger company that has a vision similar to mine. Because with the technology that we have built, we can help out a lot of businesses and a lot of companies improve their bottom line.